Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking Games with Kellie and Andrew. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kellie.
Kellie, I have
No.
What?
Yes? You're hearing things.
I have terrible news for you.
Uh-oh.
So before we started recording, Kellie was telling me something about something. I don't remember what. Doesn't matter.
I was telling you about the drone strike I was sending to your house.
I think you hadn't told me about that yet.
Oh, well, surprise.
But a gigantic slam happened. Like, it sounded like somebody went up to my front door and just like, poof. So I looked at her and I was like, I gotta go, I'll be right back, and took my headphones off and ran downstairs. Couldn't find anything wrong. Cat unfazed, so clearly nothing went wrong because he would be freaking out if something was wrong. But I lied, Kellie. Something was wrong.
A liar. What was wrong?
It was actually a lawyer.
Uh-oh.
He had a cease and
I
desist
drone striked
letter.
your lawyer on accident.
Oh no, what? He's not my
Sorry.
lawyer.
Sorry.
It was Nintendo's lawyer.
Oh, God.
I
That's
feel
even
like
worse.
I was going to say, you're in way more trouble now.
Nintendo's gonna drone strike me.
Nintendo's going to freaking fly over with Bowser's airship, and Mario's going to hop down and say, wahoo, and then step on your head, and you're going to smush like a Goomba.
That will happen.
Kellie's going to go, quick.
Exactly.
Did that convey? Did that sound convey?
No. That was a really unpleasant sound.
But you saw the visual of squish, but the audience can't see the squish.
Right.
What's your thoughts on the word squish?
I think it's a good word. It's very cute. Squish.
But I feel like you could say it in a not cute way.
Well, you have to have a cute mindset.
Squish. Like was that cute?
That's more like a squelch.
Squish.
Yeah, that's more like a squelch.
I feel like I have a wet mouth right now. Anyway, people can't see you curling your lips in disgust. They just hear silence.
Hey, let's get into the news, because why would Nintendo be lawyering up against you?
Because I like to use Nintendo assets in my Gary's Mod productions that I do.
Classic Andrew.
So Gary's Mod, pretty well known, a little piece of software that you can get from Steam. It is essentially like a 3D animation software, but with a bunch of models from different games and stuff. And people like to use it to make a bunch of different fun animations, play little fun role-playing things. And there's models from all across the industry. Basically, people import just about everything into Gary's Mod to use. Well, it may seem harmless, but Nintendo went ahead and knocked on Mr. Gary Newman's door. I didn't know Gary's last name till right now.
Newman? Newman.
Gary Newman had Nintendo knock it on his door saying, you got to get that Nintendo stuff out of there. That stuff's been in there for years. I mean, basically, like, what year is it right now? 2004? 2024, I mean?
Yes.
When it started in
Right.
2006. And Nintendo stuff has been in there basically since the start. As soon as people started putting in their own models and stuff, that happened. So we're almost 20 years in, and Gary Newman let us know that he had to remove everything. So Nintendo came in. This is a harmless thing. Nobody's making money off this. It's just for fun. It's just for fun.
No fun allowed. No fun allowed. How dare you? How dare you put in Mario in situations? How dare you?
In situations.
How dare you put him in situations? How dare you do the same exact thing to Bowser? Or even Peach, Princess Peach?
Whoa. Calm down there.
You need to get these guys out of situations. I don't want to see Mario holding an AK-47. I don't want to see Princess Peach with Gordon Freeman.
I
going
do.
for a walk.
I really do. That sounded incredible.
I'm speaking as the voice of Nintendo right now.
I really want to see Gordon Freeman on a harmless little walk with Princess Peach now.
Me too.
Are they holding hands or are they just walking near each other?
They're just walking near each other. It's very platonic. I think that, unfortunately, we will never see this.
Not anymore.
The iron fist clenching down on Mr. Newman.
I didn't like how you said that.
Squishing Mr. Newman. Yeah, it's a little throwback for you. It's a little tie-in for you. You like how I came back around to the word squish?
It sounds like that's a transition, like you're going to talk about more squishing now.
Well, I will say that somebody's being squished, and that's Blizzard, Activision.
What does that mean?
Because they're not holding BlizzCon this year. BlizzCon 2024 is not happening. I think that, I don't know.
I don't care.
Is it a great loss? No. What does Blizzard really have? World of Warcraft and Overwatch. And everything else is just... Diablo 4, I guess, but do people really play it still? Maybe. What do I know?
I feel like that's the thing. It's like an update show, right?
Yes. And I think the truth is they just don't really have that much, and maybe that's why they canceled it. And they're probably squeezing their wallets a little tighter because, I think that after the year they had, maybe they're just trying to scrape by a little bit.
Yeah, I can't imagine things are looking great over there if this is what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't quite understand. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't think Blizzard is ever a company that will be at risk just because of the absolute cash cows that their games are, especially WoW. But
and who their father is now. Yeah.
But I almost foresee this being the trend in the future. I feel a bit like BlizzCon might be gone, might be for the books.
Yeah, like this is not a one-time. They made it sound like a one-time thing, and then like they'll be back in the future, but so did E3.
Yeah, and it's kind of like if you know that you can save this much money not doing BlizzCon, why would you not continue to save that money? Especially since there's so many like summer gaming events that they can probably just show the exact same stuff at these summer gaming events and, reap similar rewards. I don't know. This is a weird move to me, though, because it feels like Blizzard would do really well to sort of try and build up some goodwill, but they are allergic to doing that. So
I just checked, and it started in 2005, and they haven't missed a year, and 40,000 people attended last year. I feel like it's more like a community event in my head. So I think it's a little odd that they're canceling it.
It is odd. I think the thing, too, is like confessionally, I still do play Overwatch 2. If you guys want to stone me, I totally understand. But and there is like the community there, particularly with content creators. BlizzCon was kind of a big deal for them. So I think that this is kind of an odd choice, like I said, especially if they would like to build goodwill. But as I said, they're kind of allergic to that. So I don't really get it.
I'm not too perturbed. I do think it's a little out of left field, but it's also like, who cares? Who cares is the people who go in person for fun. Fans who like going to the event. I feel like that's probably who's hit the worst. And I know some content creators, like you said, but I would say the fans are probably the biggest loss in my book.
I think it's a little bit... I guess it's just kind of a weird season for them because everything's sort of, like you said, everything's kind of just waiting on updates now. There was just a huge update for Overwatch. There's like expansions for Diablo and WoW that are already like happening.
Wow, really? You're not going to laugh at what I said?
I laughed, but audience, I don't know if you know this, but Andrew edits these episodes. He edited out my laughter to make it sound like I wasn't laughing at his joke.
What the frick? Why would I edit out your, like...
Because you want...
pity?
Because, no, you're making me into the villain.
You are the villain.
Well, exactly. See, you guys? He's just affirming this even more.
This is not edited. I'm not editing. You're just being a villain.
Yeah. He can't help himself.
Audience, I have news for you. I have never edited even a second of this podcast. This is live, actually. You're hearing us live.
Oh my
right now.
God. We should do a live episode. That
Okay.
would be kind of crazy.
We could do that.
I don't have the streaming capabilities to do that.
I was going to say, I don't know how to do that. I'm sure it'd be pretty
Well.
easy to figure out, but we're so good at making our pre-recorded episodes that I don't really know.
Right, that's uncharted territory. Like Uncharted 4, or Uncharted The Lost Legacy, or Uncharted 3, or Uncharted 2, or Uncharted
Or
by Naughty Dog, or Sonic.
I thought you were going to say Uncharted. You forgot about the Vita game.
Oh, sorry. What was the Vita game?
Golden Abyss?
Oh. See, you don't even know. Can't be mad
But
at
what
me.
if I'm right?
Then that would be pretty incredible.
I'm right. It's Golden Abyss.
Wow, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah. I'm pretty incredible. You know who else is pretty incredible?
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Wow. Would you say that he's excellent?
What?
Did you get it?
No.
Because
Oh, Bill and
of the news.
yeah, Bill and Ted.
Keanu.
Ted. Bill and
Right.
Ted.
Yep.
Bill and Ted. That's kind of a deep cut.
Is it?
I feel like it's a deep cut for us, and by us I mean me, and by me I mean I'm kind of stupid, and I think you need to remember that about me.
I
And
thought
I've
you were
seen
incredible.
I've seen like 3 movies,
And I know one of them's Jack Frost.
and the other 2 are Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Right.
And soon I'll see a 4th movie because Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which comes out this December, which we've known for a while, got a casting, a big one. We knew Shadow the Hedgehog was going to be in this because, spoilers, he was in Sonic 2 for like 3 seconds. Maybe in the Knuckles show. I don't know. That came out and I forgot about it. I'll admit that to you. I'll get to it next time. Sorry about that. I forgot that was coming out completely. But Sonic 3 will be starring Keanu Reeves as the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog. I personally think that...
Oh.
Huh? You want to do your Wii
Sorry?
first?
No, go ahead.
Okay, you can do your Wii first.
Yippee!
Okay. I am not the biggest Keanu fan in the world, as we have discussed on the show before, because I think his range is maybe a tiny bit limited. But fun fact, Shadow, very monotone guy. So this might be perfect.
That's true.
So this kind of might be perfect.
They are really expanding the Cyberpunk 2077 universe with the inclusion of Johnny Silverhand also being Shadow the Hedgehog and Solomon Reed also being Knuckles the Echidna. So,
Are you excited to hear them
next.
talk again?
I actually haven't seen any of the Sonic movies, so I have to do that maybe before I would see 3. I actually think, believe it or not, I could see 3 without having seen the first 2.
Yeah, I think you'd be good. As a big fan of 1 and 2, I think you could probably just watch 3. You'd be welcome to join me.
Right.
You specifically did not join me for the second movie.
I don't even remember. I don't think you invited me.
Yeah, I did. You just didn't want to see it.
When?
I don't know when that came out. 2022.
You. Okay.
It's for this
I
show.
don't- Oh, you might be right. But you know what I did see with you? I saw the Uncharted movie with you, and I saw the Mario movie with you, so...
Yeah, you're seeing only duds with me. See something good with me, finally.
What if Sonic 3 is bad?
What if... Hang on. Is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 showing in theaters right now? Please excuse this. I'm having a moment of research. Yeah, why is Sonic in theaters right now?
Are you sure you're not getting it confused with Dune 2? Because they're very similar movies.
Well, while it would be very believable for me to get those things confused, no. On Tuesday, July 23rd at 11 a.m., they'll be showing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 in Independence, Ohio.
I don't know.
Why?
I don't
Stadium seating?
Oh, wow. A lot going on here.
$2 admission?
A lot going on here.
What did I just find? I'm sorry for this real time discovery, but anyway, it came out April of 2022, so it came out almost exactly 2 years ago.
Well,
are you excited about Keanu though?
Sure, yeah. I mean,
will he get your butt in a seat? What the heck, Kelly? Not even for Keanu? Sonic 2 was great, Kelly.
I believe you. I do.
Sonic 3 is promising to have a lot of plot lines from Adventure 2.
I'm not even sure how to react to that information. Unless there's a section of the game where Sonic is running down and that song is playing.
I feel like that's extremely likely. Not extremely likely, extremely possible.
And there's a car behind him, a semi-truck, and it's like... Unless that's happening, I don't know.
I'm going to be honest, Kelly. I think that's extremely possible. I think Crush 40 will probably be in this movie.
I think that you're just trying to get me to go see it with you.
No, I really think they'll probably have Crush 40 in this, because if it's now moving from the SNES games, the Genesis games, that was so offensive of me, from the Genesis era into the Dreamcast era, I think that's when Crush 40 was introduced. It would make sense.
Yeah.
Don't you think Live and Learn would be perfect for this movie?
Yeah.
Why won't you see Sonic 3 with me?
Is Shadow gonna say a bad word?
I bet he says one. Something about Chaos Emeralds.
Yes.
I don't think Keanu would say a bad word, though, so that might be difficult for them. They might have to use AI.
You don't think Keanu would say a bad word?
No, Keanu doesn't swear, pretty famously.
Right.
What?
Well, no, you're right. You're totally right. He's never sworn. He never swore in anything that I've ever seen, and he's never sworn in any video games that I've talked extensively about on this show either.
He said a lot of things in Cyberpunk, doesn't he?
He says some things that I'd like to repeat but can't.
Why?
Because it would give us the E-tag. And I'm trying to not do that.
You know the E-tag is a choice, right?
Yeah, and I'm choosing not to.
I know.
Engage.
I'm saying we could
engage.
I could go to our RSS feed and turn that on right now.
Well,
it'd be kind of weird because there's no episode yet because we're actively recording it, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, okay. I have nothing to say because he doesn't swear in that game.
Oh, Cyberpunk. I was like, Sonic 3's a movie. Yeah, but the Knuckles show just came out. My first impressions are that it's out and that I haven't watched it yet. Do you think the audience will forgive me for my transgressions?
No.
I simply forgot.
They're going to stone you to death.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You sure they're not going to knuckles me to death? I feel like saying knuckles somebody to death instead of beat somebody to death feels too specific. It makes it scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll watch Knuckles for next week. Sorry, everybody.
You are forgiven if you tell me about what you played this week.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I haven't played anything new. I've been playing the same things, but I'm still in my Fallout. Oh, the next gen update for Fallout 4 came out, so I've been playing that on my PS5. The PS5 version.
Mm-hmm.
The FPS mode is really, really nice.
Was it locked at 30 on PS4? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's 60.
Correct. So now I'm playing it at 60, which is what I was playing it on my PC. But all the mods are broken now, so I decided to just say, hey, let me play it on my PlayStation. And let me tell you guys, going from aiming on a PC to aiming on a PlayStation is like horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's such a painful adjustment, but I am enjoying it. I wouldn't call myself a defender of Fallout 4, but I do think it's a fun game if you ignore the story. So
that's kind of That's a little bit biting, but
Yeah, I think that I don't know, the side quests are fun for me in that game. The exploration is really fun. Um, I like Far Harbor, that DLC. It's really good.
more like
But the
Fart
main
Harbor.
story,
Okay.
Fart Harbor.
Sorry, you can continue.
Exactly.
I just had to say it.
Fahaba.
Haha,
But
blast.
truthfully, the main quest is sort of blah.
Yeah.
It's okay up to a certain point, and then it kind of stalls, and then you get towards the end, and you're like, "Ooh, this is not fun." So that's kind of where I'm at, but I'm having fun. So, but I'm also still playing 3, which is enjoyable.
3 in New Vegas run at 60 now? Like if you play them on PC or modern?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably, when I play New Vegas, I'll do it on my Series X, obviously. So I didn't know if it would run at 60 on there.
You know, good luck.
What
New
does that mean?
Vegas is a very temperamental game on any platform. So, good luck.
Well, you know who else is temperamental?
Who?
Men on Twitter.
You could have just said
Men?
men.
Yeah. But specifically the ones I've been experiencing lately are the ones on Twitter talking about brand new release Stellar Blade. This is a PS5 exclusive game made by Shift Up, a new Korean studio. This is an action game where you play as a woman with a sword. You run around, you're exploring this world, killing a bunch of weird little like demon monster creatures, trying to get to the bottom of the mystery. I can't really tell you what the story's about because I don't fully know. I'm like 30% of the way into the game and I don't fully know what I'm doing. I just know
You're
that.
too busy looking at the booba.
See, I was going to get to that, Kelly.
Sorry.
If you heard my impressions of the demo, you kind of already know what I'm going to say, but I feel like I have way more thorough impressions now because the demo is the first hour and now I've played 6 hours. This game just came out last Friday, the 26th. Is that correct? Was my math right?
Sure.
Yes.
I can't count. You know that about me.
Anyway, I got it. Brand new full price release. All of the bases are covered. The graphics are very incredible. They're very nice. The music, seriously top-notch stuff. Apparently about half of the soundtrack was made by the composer from Nier, and the other half is copying him. So, but it sounds very much like Nier, which I think is a good thing. I think it's okay to kind of take sound fonts from other games if you're going to use them well. And this game, it has a lot of inspirations, but Nier Automata is very clearly the biggest one. The nature of this world, the robotic human beings, or I guess the humanoid robots, I should say, that come from space to solve the mysteries of this world, with literally Nier music, basically. Weird robotic designs, kind of desolate brownish deserts. It's very Nier Automata. I'd say, to get the worst part out of the way, it's copying Nier Automata. It is not copying the incredible story, though. It might be trying to, but it's not succeeding. The story is fine. It is perfectly adequate. But ultimately, like Nier Automata, the action is what got me invested at the beginning, but by the end, the action is just what happened between the story. You know, I was super incredibly invested by the end of that game. This game, I feel like the story is just like little breathers between combat, between exploration. I don't think that's a bad thing. Well, it's not a good thing, but it's very easy to ignore because the gameplay of this game is really top of the line. Like, genuinely, it is incredibly good to play. The controls are extremely satisfying. The combat is really interesting. I feel like it took that Nier Automata flow, tossed in a little bit of Bayonetta, just like a pinch. You know, like, what's that guy's name? Salt Bay.
Bay.
Yeah, just like a pinch of Bayonetta.
Salt Bayonetta.
Assault Bayonetta. That's a good one.
Yes.
You should draw that. Somebody's probably already drawn that. Can you look that up while I'm talking? And then taking like some parry mechanics from games like Sekiro and Nioh. I do think it does a very good job of all of that. It really blends those things together pretty nicely. It is a little bit difficult, but way easier than any Souls likes. So don't take that Sekiro comparison too seriously. Some of the bosses have been beating me up pretty good. I think the biggest problem is that it tossed me back in where the demo left me right before a boss and didn't remind me how to play after I haven't played for a month. And the boss just destroyed me. And I was like, what are the buttons? I forgot the buttons, but then I figured it out, and now everything's running pretty smooth. The only boss that was a little frustrating, it only took me like 4 tries, but it had a little bit of a run back, so it made me feel like I was playing an old Souls game, because I had to run like 20 seconds to get back to him, which doesn't sound bad, but like it's just so frustrating when you beat a boss not to hop right back in. So, do you have word on Salt Bayonetta?
I couldn't find anything.
Okay, so Kelly will illustrate that, and that'll be our thumbnail.
Right.
But I do recommend this game for fans of action games. Don't worry, I'll get to the elephant in the room in a second. But if you love action games, if you like the aesthetic of Nier, if you like the music of Nier, you're getting that here. It has a lot of that DNA, and it feels very good. It's a mostly linear game with some open segments, but again, mostly linear. I think that suits it well. There's a lot of side content to do. I am not doing a lot of it. Just from when I got to the first city in the game, maybe the first, it might be the only. I'm not sure yet. There were a bunch of side quests. A lot of them were very dull seeming, like, hey, I need you to go get this thing. Then I'm like, okay, that sucks. I'm not going to do that. I don't need the extra experience because the game's not hard. But then there was one where it was like this woman in a basement who was singing, but she was like, from like neck down was like all robot and was being like held up by a bunch of wires and like weird machinery and pipes and stuff. But she had this like beautiful woman face. And she was like singing but couldn't talk. She was just singing. I don't know exactly what was going on, but like aesthetically and like thematically, I was extremely interested in it. So I'm like, I almost wish like it was one of those games that just had a few, like 3 or 4 side quests throughout it, but they were really interesting and expansive ones that introduced really interesting lore tidbits. It does appear that there's, however, a couple dozen side quests, and not all of them are, slam dunks, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I'm having a great time, though. Like, I got it on Friday. I was about, 1 hour in? That's how long the demo took me, I believe. And now I'm 6 hours in. And most of that was spent on Sunday. I played for probably like 4 hours on Sunday, which is really saying something, because like it's been, a game really needs to hook me to get that many hours from me on day one. It usually takes a couple sessions for me to be really interested in a game, but this game is just kind of instantly. It has great forward momentum and it feels good to play. Okay, I'll get into it now. The reason we were talking about men on Twitter. The main character of this game, the design is provocative. And I know we had this discussion, when I played the demo, right? That's when we had that discussion of like when I was trying to draw where the line is and figure that out.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like it's blurry only because the discourse online makes it hard to know what I actually feel. Because my inclination is that this falls on the side of the line where I think it's unacceptable. But I think it's partially because the number of people that I see on Twitter that are screaming and being like, this is great. Stop censoring our games. More games like this. And I'm like, I love Nier Automata. I don't think I saw many. I'm sure there were some. But I feel like it was not a major part of the discourse to say that the reason the game was good was because 2B was designed in a provocative way. I don't think that was what was fueling any discussions. Or many, I should say. Based purely on fan art, I know there's a lot of people that do have that inclination with her. That's okay, fine. But with this game, there's so much toxic discourse from dudes who are just being like, finally a not PC game. And as in politically correct, not personal computer, because we're a gaming show. It's not, this game is not anti-woke. Like, I don't understand that. It's just horny. You know? For no purpose. I think you mentioned Bayonetta being campy. That's what makes the difference here. I feel like this character's not all that much more provocative than Bayonetta, but there's no self-awareness with it. There's no laughing. There's nothing funny about this game. It is almost entirely serious. So the fact that this woman is designed like this is unnecessary. It's silly. And she's also not the only one. I think if she was the only one and everybody else looked kind of normal, I'd be like, well, that's odd, but oh well. I feel like that's kind of the case with Nier, where the main woman is designed in a pretty provocative way, but like everybody else looks pretty much normal. And I'm like, well, but this game, all of the women are designed like that I've met so far. I met one yesterday that was supposed to be like a guardian warrior, and she was in the most ridiculous lingerie and just did not have nipples. Because like it was like a see-through lingerie part over where a human nipple would be, and I'm like, but I don't understand what you're going for there. It just feels airbrushed. I mean, obviously it's airbrushed. It's a 3D animated game. It's not a real person, but like everything about it feels a little bit exploitative. And I think it's probably one of those things where like if the story was incredible, I would kind of forgive it. And the gameplay being incredible does make me continue playing despite that. But I think there's a big difference between like forgiving and ignoring. Because like I feel like in Nier, I forgive it because it is surrounded by so much incredible storytelling, so much thematic genius, and ultimately, I think one of the most empowering things, well, and I hope you'll help me, contribute to this. One of the most empowering things for strong women in games is that it doesn't matter. At no point in Nier does somebody say, that's a strong lady, or anything to that effect. She's just to be, and she just is, and there's nothing, it's never even mentioned that she's a lady. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So ultimately, I feel like she is a strong female presence. She is this strong character. I don't 100% agree with the design choice of her outfit and the size of her buttocks, but I'm still able to enjoy what was on display there. But that sounded gross. You know what I mean? The whole game. Whereas this game, I feel like the design of the character is actively fighting against my enjoyment. And like, also like 90% of the time it is not sexual, as in like her design is provocative, but you're just walking around and swinging and it's not like crazy. Nothing. She's not like posing in any ways, But then sometimes she slides down a ladder and I'm like, that's not how a human being should be doing that. Because she's like, it's just the most ridiculous looking thing in the world. I feel like ultimately it's like when she's on ladders, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
The rest of the game, she's just like walking around, probably in the not most like good for her back way, but she's walking around just not like normal. But then when she's on ladders, I'm like, oh, okay. This is where they expect people to stop and stare.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think it's just gotten to the point where it's like, I've said all I can say about it. It's more annoying, the discourse around it, than it actually being in the game. There are so many games with like sexy female characters that it's like, it shouldn't really matter that much. This is pretty much par for the course for gaming. But I think the discourse around it has really been the most obnoxious, annoying, Gamergate light, malarkey in a long time. So I think it's just exhausting. I'm glad that you're enjoying your time with the game. It does look fun. I mean, the gameplay does look fun. I just wish that it wasn't hadn't become such a weird like incel breeding ground. But nothing shocks me anymore.
No, and I think the other thing is like, as far as my enjoyment's concerned, like 3 or 4 hours in, I got the option to change her into an outfit that was like very tame. Her body proportions are still not 100% amazing, but like the outfit is not revealing, and there's no like, because like the default outfit's not incredibly revealing, but it has so many like reflective bits that it makes her look kind of ridiculous. Like it's not like her butt and boobs are out. However, they have this green metallic sheen on them that makes them look extra dramatic, shall we say. I was able to switch to just like it's probably leather, I don't know. But like not in a sexy way. It doesn't have any reflective stuff on it anymore. And that has made things nicer because she just looks like a cool secret agent now. And I'm like, and this is a decently cool character. Like, the story's not incredible, but I think she's decently well acted. Her lines are interesting because she's just kind of like a little bit of a stupid robot girl, because she was just like, humans are stupid. Why would they do this? Like, why would they eat food? That's gross. Like, that kind of thing. And I think that could play off kind of in a fun way if she was like this really cool secret agent that was also doing this, which she is, but she looks ridiculous while she's doing it, so it kind of cancels out.
Yeah. The same company just needs to make another game, Stellar Blade 2, and have all the female characters be dressed normal, and then have like a male main character that's got like his balls out.
Yes. Let's make it.
And jiggle physics. And I'm not kidding.
I have met 2 men in the game so far. One is dressed in gigantic clothing that covers everything. And the other was an old man who was like 80% robot. So, he was shirtless though.
Well,
so
we like to keep things equal here.
If you really like old men with long white beards that are mostly robotic, this game will tickle your fancy, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay. Heard.
It's complicated because I do recommend it. Like, after all this discussion, if it's a game that sounds interesting to you, you'll probably like it a lot. It does hit those notes really well. If you want to wait, it'll probably be on sale in not that long. I mean, PlayStation games tend to go on sale a reasonable amount. I do hope it goes multi-platform at some point, because nothing about this screams PlayStation to me. There was one puzzle where you had to jump on these platforms in a specific order, like, and it was X, square, triangle, circle in that order, and I was like, well, I guess that's a cute PlayStation reference, because that's the controller, but like it doesn't have to be that way. So I don't know. I'm also like getting anti-console exclusives now. I'm getting more that way with time and age.
Yeah, I think that's understandable.
So, but alas, that is Stellar Blade. A recommendation I make with a gigantic asterisk. Like, it's really, there's a lot of notes attached to that recommendation.
Yes.
I'll probably have more. I might have some more opinions. I'd say I have a pretty full review. Like, this is a review. I've played like over 30% of the game. I imagine it's just going to continue in this direction. Unless the story really picks up, I don't think you should expect many updates from me. So, but maybe next week I'll have a lot more to say. Probably not, but maybe. I guess you'll just have to tune in and find out. Got you.
Yeah, gotta leave them hanging.
Now you gotta come back.
Yes.
That and Knuckles.
Well, that's true. Don't you want to hear our thoughts, Andrew's thoughts on Knuckles?
I was gonna say, you're watching Knuckles?
No.
You're not gonna watch Knuckles? You love Idris Elba.
I do love Idris Elba, but I don't think I will endure.
What if it's good?
Then I'll hear it from you, and then I'll watch it later.
I'll text you.
Well.
So that you can watch it before. So you can watch the entire season before next episode.
Wow, thank you.
I think it's only like 3 hours long for the entire season, so.
Oh, wow.
I shouldn't say that. I'm probably going to get canceled for saying wrong information about Knuckles.
Oh, and I'll be the one canceling you on Twitter.
We love Twitter.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Talking Games with Andrew and Kelly.
Ew.
I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you have a great day, week, month, hour. Exactly. Second. I hope this very second that you're listening, you're having a good time. I hope that things are good for you and they will continue to be good. We will see you next week, and I hope that you enjoyed. And I already said that. Okay, thanks. Bye.